Who's ready to do some math? Math world, party time, exponents. Okay, so guys, you ready to do some math? Like, hey, don't worry, it'll be excellent, okay? You have nothing to worry about. We'll do it step by step, nothing to worry about. It'll be excellent. Don't worry. So, you guys ready? Okay, so you guys ready? Yeah, I think you are. Like, I don't know you, but I think you are. Okay, so the first question is, which statement is true about the domain of y equals 3 times 2 to the negative x? Well, since the power is x, but there's nothing else, it's just an x, that would make it 1. If the power is 1, then if it's multiplied by anything, it'll just stay 1. But since it's a negative, that'll just make it a negative 1. Okay? So it'll be y equals 3 times negative 1. Okay? Okay? So, it'll be y equals negative 3 whenever you multiply those together. So now we have to find out which answer it'll be. So, if it's A, the domain is all real numbers greater than and equal to 2. That's not right. Yeah, that's not right at all. Now, because if it needs to go less, it can't even go to 1. So, yeah, it's not A. B, the domain is all real numbers greater than 0. Still no, it needs to be less. It needs to go down to the negatives too. D, the domain is all real numbers less than 0. Well, what about when it needs to go to the positive? So, out of process of elimination, it must be C. The domain is all real numbers. Alright, so you made it to the second question. Okay, so there's a bit more after this, but just stick with me and it'll be a breeze, okay? So, before I explain the question, I'm going to tell you a little bit about graphs, okay? So, a graph is a box with tons of little tiny boxes in it, okay? And in the center, it has two lines going up and down and left and right. The one going left to right horizontal, that would be the x-axis. Now, if you're talking about the one going vertical, up and down, that would be the y-axis, okay? Pretty simple, right? Well, if you're placing a point on it, the first thing you'd put, the first number on the left, that would be the x-axis, and the right number would be the y. You know? Still pretty simple. The domain of a graph would be anything in the x-axis where the line is. And the range would be how the y is to where the line is. Okay? No, they sound the same, but they're still different things. Y and line. Yeah. So, now we can get on to the question. Yeah. Each set given includes members of the domain and range shown in each graph. Match each set with the correct graph. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, it should be. So, the domain for the graph on the left would be 0, 1, 2, and 3. And since it's only 4 numbers, and in the answer bank it only has 4 numbers for each, we get lucky. We could just look at just all the answers we got, you know? It's wicked, you know? Okay. So, the domain would be 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now we have to find the range, the y-axis. So, that'd be -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, that is a lot more than 4 numbers. I can tell you that for sure. So, since it only has 4 numbers, you pick of the ones which just have all the ones which are there, you know? You know? Just all the ones which are there. which in this case would be the numbers -4, 1, 2, and 5. Hey, that's a graph. That's 1 out of 3. Pretty good, pretty good. So, the second graph. This gonna be fun. Okay, so we're looking for the domain again, which is the x-axis. So, it goes from -1 to 2. -1, 0, 1, and 2. Luckily, that's only 4 numbers, so you can look for the exact thing in the answer bank. And it's there, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Okay? Now, for the range, it's going to be a big difference, because it goes from -3 to 6. -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's a lot of numbers. Even more than last graph. But you know what? We can still find it. Just try to pick the numbers of what you have on the graph and try to match them with one of the boxes. So in this case, the box which would match would say -3, -1, 1, and 6, you know? Okay, so now we're on the final graph. This is going to be pretty cool. Okay, so we're doing the same thing as we were doing before, looking for a domain and range. So, the domain would be -4 through 2. -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, and a 2. I know that 2 probably makes no sense, but it's there, so you gotta go with what the line says. So, it might be a little more than 4 numbers, but you can still find it. It's not as many as 9 letters. So, the one which would match with it would be -4, -1, 1, and 2. So, there's going to be only one box left, but I'm still going to help you with this. So, for the range, that would be -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, and 0, okay? So, the box which would fit with this, which would be the last box, so it's probably going to be the toughest question of them all, it'd be -5, -3, -1, and 0. Because that's how it works. Alright, so that's question 2. Alright, so welcome to question 3. This might be easier or harder than the past 2. It depends on your opinion, though. So, let's get right into it. The question states, Tony's Corner Market sells bulk candy for $1.80 a pound. That's pretty good price for some candy. I could go for some right now. If the largest container holds at most 2.5 pounds and a customer purchases only 1 container, why would you purchase only 1 container? Like, for a price that good on candy, you'd buy like 10 of those. Anyways, which statement would best describe the possible domain and range values for this situation? Well, the answer might surprise you. And the answers, it has the number 4.50 in it. If you want to know how to get it, you multiply 1.80 from the $1.80 a pound times the 2.5, which would be at the most 2.5 pounds that a container can hold. So when you multiply that, that'd be $4.50, the maximum amount that it'll cost. Okay? So, for the answer A, the domain is all values less than and including 2.5, and the range is all values less than and including 4.50. Well, that's wrong, because the domain doesn't go up to 4.50. B, the domain and range both consist of all values greater than and including 1.8. Well, that's not right, because none of them go up to 4.50. C, the domain is all values between and including 0 and 2.5, and the range is all values between and including 0 and 4.50. Well, it doesn't go into any negatives, and it goes to the price we need. So that could be it, but we need to check to make sure, because you don't want to get it wrong. Answer D. The domain and range both consist of all values greater than and including 0. Well, we already know the max amount is 4.50, so it can't go past it, so D must be wrong, so C must be the correct answer. Props to you if you got it right. Alright, so welcome to question 4. You can take a seat, okay? So, we're going to be talking about Jonathan's car lease. I hope he gets that paid, but let's see if he does. The question states, Jonathan's car lease allows only 10,000 miles per year. Additional miles at the end of the lease will cost Jonathan 17 cents per mile. Jonathan's lease is for 3 years. Which function can be used to calculate the amount of money A. Jonathan would owe based on the number of miles X the car has been driven if he exceeds the allowed number of miles? Okay? This might sound a little confusing, but it's really not. It's easy peasy. Okay? So, he said you can drive fit 10 miles, 10,000, not 10, not just 10, 10,000 miles per year, okay? So, if he has it for 3 years and can drive it 10,000 per year, 10,000 times 3 is 30,000. He could drive 30,000 miles in 3 years without having to pay anything extra. But if he exceeds that, he's going to have to pay 17 cents per mile, okay? Well, let's look at these answers and see if any of them have 30,000 in it, okay? So A says A equals 0.17x minus 10,000. That is not it. It does not have 30,000 in it at all, okay? So, B, A equals 0.17 times x minus 30,000. That could be the answer. Could be. C, A equals 0.17x minus 30,000. That could be the answer again. It has 30,000 in it, not 10,000. D, A equals 0.17 times x minus 10. That is not an answer. No, it has 10,000 in it, not 30,000, okay? So, our last contestants are B and C. We're going to have to see which one's right. Well, if it's we're going to be multiplying the 17 cents per mile with the minus negative 30,000 and the x, which is the number of miles. So those two numbers, well, the number and the variable, anyways, that's not a number, would be in a parentheses. And the only one with a parentheses is B. So swing, B is the answer. If you got it right, well then I guess you'll know. Alright, welcome to question 5. We're halfway there. Time flies when you're doing math, doesn't it? Why am I hearing crickets? Oh well. So, it's telling us to look at the map. It is a map of part of the European continent. Starred London and another star in Paris, you know? Pretty normal. 2 inches on the map is equal to 600 miles. That's a lot of land. Or water. Doesn't matter. It's area. I say area. That works. If London is 285.96 miles from Paris, that is kind of far away, which of the following statements is true? Okay? So, I'll use a random answer. C. Let's use answer C, you know? To kind of give you an example of what they're asking for. So 2 inches is to 600 miles, as 4.2 inches is to 285.96 miles. So the 2 inches is to 600 miles. You convert the miles into inches, and then you divide the 2 inches by what you get from the 600 miles from converting that to inches. And you do the same on both, and you see if they're equal. You see if they're the same. So, you kind of see where I'm going with this? Okay. So, let's start with question A, because we gotta go A, B, C, D, you know? Okay. So, 2 inches is to 600 miles, as 0.95 inches is to 285.96 miles. Well, 1 mile is 63,000 360 inches. That's a lot of area, just a whole lot. It's a lot more than you probably would have thought, unless you knew that. So, whenever you multiply 600 by 63,360, you get 38,016,000. Okay? That's a lot of inches. Okay? And you use the 2 inches, so it'll be 2 divided by 38,016,000. And you get 0.000000005. That's 7 zeros. That's a lot, okay? So now, let's do to the other one. 0.95 inches is to 285.96 miles, okay? So whenever you multiply 285.96 times 63,360, you'll get 18,118,425.6 inches, okay? So now you're going to divide. What is this? Is this a backwards class? No, it's not. I'm supposed to be teaching you. Okay, so if you divide 0.95 divided by 285.96 as inches, which will be 18,180,425.6 inches. That's still a lot. If you divide 0.95 by that giant number, you'll get 0.000000005. That is 7 zeros again. A lot of zeros, but they're the same. So that probably is the answer, but we'll go through, okay? B, 2 inches is to 4.2 inches at 600 miles is to 285.96 miles, okay? So that's reasonable to do. You don't have to convert miles into inches and stuff like that. No, you just divide the first number by the second number. 2 divided by 4.2 is 0.47619048. I didn't even know numbers like that existed until now. So, that's the number for the first half. Now the second half, 600 miles is to 285.96 miles, okay? Now if you divide 600 by 285.96, that'll give you 2.0981955. Those are not it. Those don't look the same to me. B's not the answer. C, okay? Maybe that could be it. I think A is, but C could be it. You never know. I could be wrong. So, 2 inches is to 600 miles, as 4.2 inches is to 285.96 miles, okay? So, 2 inches is to 600 miles. We already did the math for that. That is 0.0000005. Yes, I didn't hold up my fingers for that one. I was just hoping you'd remember. Okay, so we already know what the ending equation is to that. Okay? So, 4.2 inches is to 285.96 miles. We already know what 285.96 miles is in inches. That's 18,118,425.6 inches. So if you divide 4.2 by 18,118,425.6, you get 0.0000023. 6 zeros. Not 7, 6, and there's no 5 in it. It's only 2, 3. So that C cannot be the answer. D, 2 inches is to 0.95 inches, as 285.96 miles is to 600 miles, okay? So if you divide 2 divided by 0.95, because you don't need to convert, because it's not inches to miles, it's inches to inches, I'll give you 2.10526316. A big number, but maybe the other one could share it. The second half is 285.96 miles divided by 600. When you divide that, that gives you 0.4766. That's not the answer, okay? So, I guess the answer is A. We got it from the start. Good job if you got it right. I might not know if you did, but you'll know. Oh, welcome to question 6. If you're getting tired of this, well, only 4 more questions after this, so you'll be able to leave soon, okay? But if you're enjoying this, well, sadly it's going to be ending in 4 questions, so yeah, that must stink. Okay, so the question states, after checking that the gas tank of a car is filled to its capacity, a person proves the following. Traveling d miles within a city, the number of gallons of gas left in the tank can be given by the function. He can cover 3 more miles per gallon of gas on a highway than within the city. What is the maximum distance the car can travel on the highway with the tank filled to its capacity? The equation they give is GD equals 15 minus D over 20. Okay? Well, the way I solved it is that 20 miles is what you have in the city, you know? So, if you multiply 15 times 20, that'll be 300 miles you could go with a full tank. You know? Simple. Whenever you have the maximum distance in the highway, that'll give you 3 extra. So it'll be 15 times 23. When you multiply that, that'll give you 345. That'll be 345 miles in the highway, a 45-mile difference from the highway and the city. This was pretty short, but maybe others will be longer. Welcome to question 7. It is going to be maybe easy, maybe hard. I don't know how it is. People are different. Well, I'm just going to get right to it. The question states, while riding on a carousel, Angela travels a distance of 65 meters every 15 seconds. What is her speed in kilometers per hour? I'm Brent. I don't drive in kilometers. Okay, so we're having to translate meters to kilometers. But first, this is meters every 15 seconds. We're going to need to get meters per hour before we can translate. So, we're going to need to multiply 65 times 4, because 15 times 4 is 60, and that'll be 60 seconds. 60 seconds is equal to a minute. Okay? So, 65 times 4 is 260 meters per minute. Okay? So, now you're going to need to multiply that times 60. 260 times 60 is equal to 15,600, okay? Now, 1 meter is equal to 0.001 kilometers. So you multiply it by 0.001 kilometers. You might be wondering why I'm not dividing. Well, I'm not dividing because if you divide with a decimal, it makes the number bigger instead of smaller, and we're trying to make it smaller. So it's pretty much backwards, okay? So, if you multiply 15,600 by 0.001, it will be 15.6. And if you look, A is 14.4 kilometers an hour. B is 15.6 kilometers an hour. That's what the answer is. But I'll read through the rest. C is equal to 156 kilometers per hour, and D is equal to 3.9 kilometers per hour. So B would be the right answer. Good job if you got it right. We're almost done. Hello, welcome to question 8. We're almost done with all of this. So if you're not enjoying this, well, we're almost done, so you'll be happy soon. Okay? So, gonna get straight forward. Question 8 says, Mildred has $28 in his savings account. On Monday, he deposited his earnings from mowing lawns on the weekend. He earned the same amount the next week, but deposited only 40% of those earnings. After making the 2 deposits, he had $70 in his accounts. How much did he earn in 1 week? Okay? Simple, right? Can be. Okay. So, there's already $28 inside of his savings account before he did anything. So that's some pretty good money to be free. I want that bank account. That's some free money. Yeah, do nothing for it. So, it's going to be 70 minus 28 because that's what's in it. But we're trying to find the amounts that we got from working, not from doing nothing. So, you subtract the 28 out. 70 minus 28 would be 42. And 40% of 30 would be 12. So, and 30 plus 12 equals 42. 30 is the number that works. Now, let's see if 30 is one of the answers. A is 21. That ain't it. I know that for a fact. B, $50. Be nice to have, but that's not the answer. C, $12. Yeah, that ain't it. And D, $30. And looky there, it's on there. If you got the answer right, clap and a half to you. Alright, so welcome to question 9. We're almost done. We're one question away after this. It's gonna be sad, isn't it? Well, the question, it's just equations. It's just algebra equation. It's pretty easy. A boat is currently 63 miles from its destination and is traveling against a river current. The boat travels 10 miles per hour in still water. The boat's distance from its destination is given by the following formula. D equals 63 minus h times t minus c. Given D is equal to the distance in miles, h is equal to the number of hours. I can't talk today. I don't know why. Guess something in here. C is equal to the speed of the river's current in miles per hour. Okay, so it gave us everything, and we're just going to try to solve it. What's the correct formula for the boat's distance from its destination after 3 hours? The h would become a 3 because it's for hours. Number of hours, 3 hours, so the h will become a 3. So it'll be D equals 63 minus 3 times 10 minus c. So then, you do distribution. D equals 63 minus 30 plus 3c. Minus 3 times 10 is equal to a minus 30. And a minus 3 times a minus c would, minus times a minus would become a positive. So it'd be 3c. And then you subtract 63 minus 30, and that'd be D equals 33 plus 3c. Now let's see what the answer choices are. A is D equals 600 minus C. That is not the answer. B, D is equal to 600 plus 60C. That ain't it either. C, D equals 33 minus C, where there ain't no 3 at that C, and it's supposed to be a positive. That is not it. D equals 33 plus 3C. That is correct. Swing! Okay, so if you got that right, good job. Hello, welcome to question 10. It is the final question out of the 10, and it is going to be answered right now. Question 10. If y equals negative 3x plus 5, what is y when x equals 2 over 3? Well, first, you would replace the x with 2 over 3. And then, because the x is beside 3, but there's no sign in between it, like right beside it, that means it's multiplied. You're going to multiply it. So it'd be negative 3 times 2 over 3. That will equal negative 2. Now, it'll be y equals negative 2 plus 5. Minus 2 plus 5 would be y equals 3. 3 should be the answer. Now let's look at the answer choices and see which one has 3 in it. A has 3 in it. A is the answer. B has 7. C has negative 1. D has 11. So A will be the answer. It's the only one with a 3 in it. And it's a positive 3, so, which means it's right. That's the answer. Good job if you got it right. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It was totally excellent. I want you to remember, keep on partying and keep on doing math. Math world, party time, excellent.